Tonight's third and final presidential debate is the last opportunity for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton to make their case in front of a huge televised audience. The two previous matchups were, I think we can say, contentious, with each candidate making personal attacks, going for the proverbial jugular.
Maybe he doesn't want the American people, all of you watching tonight, to know that he's paid nothing in federal taxes.
If I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation.
Those debates appear to have been game changers. On September 26th, the day of the first encounter, a composite of national polls showed a virtual tie, with Clinton up by a little over 2 points. Today, her margin is at 7.5 points and growing. Leading up to this debate, Trump stayed on the campaign trail, where he continued to mock Clinton's standard prep schedule of hunkering down and studying.
Now, she's home sleeping and I'm working, so that's the way. It's the way it's going to be in the White House, too. She'd be sleeping, I'd be working.
Since about 20 minutes into that first debate, things have not gone too well for Donald Trump. There's talk of reliably red states now being in play for Clinton and the potential for huge losses for Republicans in down-ballot races. But he's been written off before, so what can he do tonight to turn things around? And what can she do, quite frankly, not to mess things up? Joining me are Lila Alphonse, managing editor for U.S. News and World Report. Lila, it's good to see you again. And Dante Ramos, columnist and ideas editor. Congratulations for the Boston Globe. Good to see you, too.
Thanks, great to be here.
Tell me something that could happen tonight that would change the dynamic of a sinking Trump and a blue state expanding Hillary Clinton.
Well, I don't think Trump's going to be able to avoid any of the questions about allegations of sexual misconduct that have come out over the last 10 days. If he can handle those and deny them or address them in a way that's calm, in a way that doesn't further alienate women voters, I think he could do better than he has in the previous debates.
Are you sighing a la Al Gore? What are you doing here, Dante? What were you doing?
No, I don't know. You try to think at this late point in the campaign whether there's anything that could really change the dynamics. You know, like a Sharknado could break out in the middle of the debate and sweep Hillary Clinton away or something. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of catastrophic thing that we can't possibly anticipate. She collapses on the debate stage or something like that. Other than that, you know, if she is roughly as she has been and Trump is roughly as he has been in those debates, you know, it feels like the basic dynamics of this are pretty much set.
I want to get back to them in a minute. The personal thing, this incivility off the stage is putting me totally over the edge. The Clintons negotiate so that Bill Clinton and Melania do not have to shake hands before, even though they have, and that's been the tradition. And on the flip side, Trump is bringing the half-brother, Malik Obama, who's voting for Trump, and one of the leaders of his campaign says it's just an appetizer. I mean, is this bothering you?
It bothers me tremendously. I mean, the Clinton campaign is also bringing Mark Cuban and Meg Whitman today, and both of them have been very vocal about being against Trump.
But that doesn't bother me nearly as much as they won't shake hands before the debate.
That's because that's from the last debate, where the plan, according to Giuliani, was to bring the three women accusing Bill Clinton into the Trump family area so they would be forced to shake hands with Bill Clinton, which is a huge distraction. And it's a huge bullying tactic. And now I just think we're seeing the aftermath of that, and voters are sick of it.
Is this bothering you? Or
It's pathetic. I think it's
on
just
both
an
sides,
effort.
Isn't it?
I mean, I think Trump has been trollier than the Clinton campaign, but this is what that is. I mean, they're essentially trolling each other.
Okay, let's go back to the candidates themselves. I got over that. That's helping me. Opportunity and challenge stuff. You've started on some. Let's start with Donald Trump. It seems the baiting thing, which is what sunk him after 20 minutes in the first debate, is the greatest. Even Barack Obama is baiting him yesterday from the Rose Garden. There's no serious person out there who would suggest somehow you can even rig Americans' elections. So I'd advise Mr. Trump to stop whining and go make his case to get votes. That was essentially to get under Trump's skin in advance of the debate, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure, of course. I think the thing you will probably see Trump do, you know, he'll harp on the email scandal a lot, because that is one thing over the course of both of these debates. Actually, in the first debate, I thought Clinton had a fairly crisp answer to a question about it, where she said it's a mistake, and she sort of moved on to other things. In the second debate, once she started talking about it, she couldn't quite get herself out of it, and it's something that she doesn't really have an answer that makes sense to a lot of people.
Well, none of it really makes sense. Her husband's not running for president. Her sticking up for him or standing by him, that's what Melania is doing now. So anything he uses from that to attack her on backfires because it could equally apply to him. And at the same time, anything she does to bring up these accusations against him, I think show that she could be willing to go down that rabbit hole, and maybe voters don't really want to go there anymore.
Could you repeat that, please? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it seems to me what he was doing for the first 20 minutes in the first debate is this. I don't understand why he hasn't been doing this nonstop. Mm-hmm. She's the status quo. Mm-hmm. She's what's been happening in Washington for all these years. If she wins, 2 families will have controlled 4 of the 5 presidencies. Mm-hmm. Isn't that essentially what his calling card is here?
He's more annoyed with Saturday Night Live, though, than he is about focusing on the differences, the positive differences.
But if he could, isn't
Clinton.
The status quo? She's the status quo. I'm changed. That's his strongest thing.
That is the strongest thing, and that's the thing he hasn't really been talking about.
No?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think that is a good debate strategy. Mm-hmm. I don't think that he has shown much adherence to what most debate coaches would see as good debate strategy, and he does get knocked off point pretty easily.
Chris Wallace is a pretty smart guy, and it's first Fox News guy to be moderating a debate, but I find him to be a really serious journalist type. And this WikiLeaks thing, which the Clinton campaign has been brushing off with, I think, the most pathetic of responses. We're not going to confirm that these are real. This is the Russians in league with Donald Trump. She can't get away with that tonight. She's got to respond to the content of these things, does she not?
I think up to a point. I mean, again, anything that comes up that she offers, like the broader email scandal, anything that she offers a kind of half sort of indignant answer to, she ends up seeming like she's kind of sniffing her nose at it.
Would you let her get away on the open borders thing, which she hasn't been asked about? I can't believe Trump didn't bring it up last time. You were for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, then you're against the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and we saw you speaking to a bunch of bankers a couple of years ago. You're talking about open borders and all that sort of stuff. Doesn't she have to answer that question?
A good moderator would drill into that kind of thing.
Right. I'd agree with that. I think Trump's done a very good job of distracting everyone from these WikiLeaks dumps. And so the focus ends up being, well, the news, frankly, is the dump itself. A lot of what's in the dump really isn't news. Letters, emails that are forwarded to Podesta from a year and a half ago, things like that where there's not a lot of substance. But the stuff that is substantial has been overlooked because there's another dumpster fire to watch every day.
Speaking of dumpster fire, do you think the American people are all complaining, like I am, that there's not enough content, not enough issues? Mm-hmm. Are we full of it? I mean, are we getting what we want, essentially, on cable news at night? Last night, Anderson Cooper, whom I otherwise love, has a 20-minute segment on whether or not Melania Trump really bumped into the reporter from People magazine or not. Who cares? And then I conclude, maybe the voters care. I mean, where is the truth lie here, Dante? Are they giving us what they want, what we want?
I think journalists would love to see a very policy-focused presentation in the debate. I mean, that's my own preference also. I think a steady diet of spinach is probably not entirely what presidential races have ever been about, to the extent that these things are about character and the way people perceive, try to extrapolate what kind of a leader you would be based on personality. That is a legitimate focus of debate. I mean, I think this is an exceptionally trivializing campaign. It's kind of unworthy of us.
I think we're seeing a lot of what you see at the end or in the middle of reality TV shows, the one-on-one with the camera in the soundproof room and the what you really think happened. And I think a lot of audiences, a lot of voters, maybe a lot of supporters on either side want to know the behind-the-scenes look because we've been conditioned to expect that now when we turn on the TV. And
pathetic.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what it is.
there's no substance there. It's just filler.
Lila, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too.
Dante, you as well.
Good to see you.
Well, you too.